Education in Portugal is free and compulsory until the age of 18, when students complete the 12th grade. The education is regulated by the state through the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Science. There is a system of public education and also many private schools at all levels of education. The first Portuguese medieval universities, such as the University of Coimbra, were created in the 13th century, and the national higher education system is fully integrated into the European higher education area. The basic literacy rate of the Portuguese population is 95.7%. According to UIN, only 3.7 million Portuguese workers completed basic education. According to the OECD's Programme for International Student Assessment 2009, the average Portuguese 15-years-old student, when rated in terms of reading literacy, mathematics and science knowledge, is placed at the same level as those students from the United States, Sweden, Germany, Ireland, France, Denmark, United Kingdom, Hungary and Taipei, with 489 points. Despite its gradual modernization and relative expansion since the 1960s, the educational system remained underdeveloped until the 2000s, when it finally reached some of the developed world's best practices and trends. History. In the beginnings of the Portuguese nationality, the Christian clergy was the main player in the educational endeavor. Portuguese universities have existed since 1290. Within the scope of the Portuguese Empire, the Portuguese founded in 1792 the oldest engineering school of Latin America, as well as the oldest medical college of Asia in 1842. 19th and 20th century, however. By the end of the 19th century, the illiteracy rate was over 80% and higher education was reserved for a small percentage of the population. 68.1% of Portugal's population was still classified as illiterate by the 1930 census. Portugal's literacy rate by the 1940s and early 1950s was low for North American and Western European standards at the time. From the 1960s, the country made public education available for all children between the ages of 6 and 12, expanded a robust network of industrial and commercial technical schools aimed at intermediate education of future skilled workers, recognized the Portuguese Catholic University in 1971, and by 1973 a wave of new state-run universities were founded across mainland Portugal. After 1974, the number of basic and secondary schools as well as of higher education institutions increased until the end of the century, sometimes without the necessary allocation of quality material and qualified human resources. Education more than basic wasn't affordable for most Portuguese families. The real democratization of education, especially secondary and higher education, only happened in the 1980s. After mid-2000s programs of modernization of schools and the construction of new elementary schools called educational centers are being held. The Bologna process for higher education has been adopted since 2006. However, the higher education rate in the country still remains the lowest in the European Union. This rate was around 7% in 2003 Education at a Glance, an OECD statistical compendium, and improved to 11% in 2007 as compared to Slovakia's and Slovenia's around 16%, Germany's, Estonia, Spain's and Ireland's 28%, or Belgium's, Netherlands, Denmark's, Finland's, Cyprus's and UK's, over 30%. According to the OECD's Programme for International Student Assessment, the average Portuguese 15-years-old student was for many years underrated and underachieving in terms of reading literacy, mathematics and science knowledge in the OECD, nearly tied with the Italian and just above countries like Greece, Turkey and Mexico. However, since 2010, PISA results for Portuguese students improved dramatically. The Portuguese Ministry of Education announced a 2010 report published by its Office for Educational Evaluation which criticized the results of PISA 2009 report and claimed that the average Portuguese teenage student had profound handicaps in terms of expression, communication and logic, as well as a low performance when asked to solve problems. They also claimed that those fallacies are not exclusive of Portugal but indeed occur in other countries due to the way PISA was designed, due to the Portuguese sovereign debt crisis in the late 2000s, and the subsequent IMF EU financial assistance to the Portuguese Republic from 2011 onward. Many universities and other higher education institutions suffered financially. Many were on verge of bankruptcy and were forced to increase its admissions and tuition fees as the budget dwindled and the staff members and bonuses were being reduced. Years of schooling. Students must turn 6 years old until the end of the civil year of entry in first year of school. School year calendar. Each school year starts in mid-September and ends in mid-June. There are 3 holiday breaks during the year: Christmas break, Carnival break, and Easter break. The school year is divided in 3 terms, usually limited by the following dates. First term, from the 15th of September to the 15th of December. Second term, from the 3rd of January to 2 weeks before Easter. Third term, from the Tuesday after Easter to the 15th of June. After the end of classes, there are national exams during June and July for students in 4th, 6th, 9th, 11th and 12th years. Pre-primary education. Nursery children from 4 months until they are 3 years old may frequent a nursery. The large majority of nurseries are private. Other nurseries are run by the Portuguese Social Security and are partly financed by the state. In these nurseries, parents pay according to their income. Kindergarten. Pre-primary education is optional from the ages of 3 to 5, and is provided in both state-run and private kindergarten schools. State-run kindergarten's provision is free of charge. The schools are known as Jardins da Infância. Most international schools offer an international approach to pre-primary learning and follow a curriculum such as the International Baccalaureate. Pre-higher education. Basic education lasts for 9 years, divided into 3 stages of 4, 2 and 3 years respectively. The stages are respectively first cycler, second cycler and third cycler. A diploma certificate is awarded at the end of the third stage. Secondary education, public, private or cooperative, is compulsory since the school year of 2012-2013 and consists of a 3-year cycle after basic education. Access to secondary education is made through the Certificate of Basic Education. There are 3 types of programs: general programs, technical, vocational programs, and artistic programs, providing instruction in technical, technological, professional fields and in the Portuguese language and culture. Permeability between the programs is guaranteed. The teaching and practice of technical, technological or artistic programs are provided by vocational schools and special schools for education in arts. Programs are sanctioned by the Certificado de Habilitados do Ensino Secundário, Diploma de Ensino Secundário, which is the prerequisite for access to higher education through national access examination. Basic education in Portugal. Basic education consists of 9 years of schooling divided into 3 sequential cycles of education of 4, 2 and 3 years. Children aged 6 by the 15th of September must be enrolled in their first school year in that calendar year. In addition, children who reach the age of 6 between the 16th of September and the 31st of December may be authorized to attend the first stage of education, provided a request is submitted by their parents or guardians to the school nearest to their residence during the annual enrollment period. State-run schools are free of charge. Private school tuition is refunded by the state in part or fully. when state-run schools in the area are filled to capacity. The first cycle of basic mandatory education covers years 1st, 4th, the second cycle years 5th, 6th, and the third cycle years 7th, 9th. The curriculum contains only general education until the 9th year, at which point vocational subjects are introduced. At the end of each cycle, students take national evaluation exams for the subjects of Portuguese language and mathematics. Schools do not give any books or materials. Financial assistance is available for poorer families. The school books are chosen at schools level every 4 years. First cycle state-run schools are owned by the municipalities. All other state-run schools are owned by the state. At state-run schools, first cycle students and kindergarten students get free mid-morning or mid-afternoon snacks, generally consisting of a 20 centiliters milk carton. First cycle, first, 2nd, 3rd and 4th years general subjects: Portuguese language, environment study, mathematics, enrichment activities, English, artistic education, physical education, musical education, verbal education, facultative, Catholic moral and religious education. Second cycle, 5th and 6th years Portuguese language, mathematics, history and geography of Portugal, English, natural sciences, visual education, technological education, physical education, musical education, Catholic moral and religious education. Third cycle, 7th, 8th and 9th years Portuguese language, mathematics, English, second foreign language, French, Spanish or German, natural sciences, physics and chemistry, history, geography, physical education, visual education *, technological education *, drama, music *, computer and IT, an alternative of the school, Catholic moral and religious education. Secondary education. It is only after the 9th year of basic schooling that the Portuguese general education system branches out into different secondary programs: a higher education-oriented, a work-oriented and an artistic-oriented program. The conclusion of secondary education with passing grades confers a diploma, which will certificate the qualification thus obtained, and, in the case of work-oriented programs, the qualification for specific jobs. All general and technological programs share the following subjects known as general formation: Portuguese language, physical education, philosophy, foreign language, Catholic moral and religious education. General programs: sciences and technologies. Main subject: 10th, 11th and 12th years, mathematics A. Specific subjects: 10th and 11th years, biology and geology, descriptive geometry, physics and chemistry. Optional subjects: 12th year, biology, geology, physics, chemistry, psychology or others. Social and human sciences. Main subjects: 10th, 11th and 12th years, history A. Specific subjects: 10th and 11th years, geography, foreign language 2, Portuguese literature, math applied to social sciences. Optional subjects: 12th year, law, sociology, Latin, geography, psychology, philosophy, economics or others. Socio-economic sciences. Main subjects: 10th, 11th and 12th years, mathematics A. Specific subjects: 10th and 11th years, economics, history B, geography. Optional subjects: 12th year, economics, geography, sociology, psychology, law or others. Visual arts. Main subjects: 10th, 11th and 12th years, drawing A. Specific subjects: 10th and 11th years, descriptive geometry, mathematics B, history of culture and art. Optional subjects: 12th year, art atelier, multimedia atelier, materials and technologies, psychology, philosophy or others. Professional programs: sport, architect, technician, civil construction, electronics, computing, equipment design, multimedia, administration, marketing, environment and territory order, social action, social animation, others, specialized artistic programs, music, dance, drama and cinema, visual and audio-visual arts, others. Access to higher education. At the end of 11th grade, students have national exams in the two specific subjects of their course. At the end of the 12th grade, the exams are in Portuguese language and the main subject of the course. The access to higher education is made through a national online process, where the students enter the college by priority based on their grades. The average of grades obtained in all subjects represents a part of the application grade to enter college. The other part is based on the grade of the specific exams that the college requests, which are related with the course the student is applying for. The average of both averages is the application grade to college. That number is between 0 and 20. The higher it is, the better the chance to enter the college.